The ideas of Braungart and McDonough sound almost utopian, but they are taken very seriously by major manufacturers. In Beaverton, a suburb of Portland, lies the Nike World Campus, the headquarters of Nike worldwide. John Hoke is Nike's head of shoe design. He has taken the message to heart. You don't eat shoes, but they do wear out and come into the biosphere.
Well, I think we have to think about the chemical compounds of the product itself, because the theory would be that as you're using the shoe, it's eliminating and rubbing off the material and then getting into the ground, and worms are eating it. And so I think we have to start with the chemical makeup of all the materials that we had. And so from there, I think we'd think about the design for disassembly at some point, where you can collect the product back and reclaim every single aspect of the shoe and every piece of material, and then reuse that in some way to create new product. We have to go back to the source vendors and tell them our goal is that this material is to be food for something somewhere, and so reducing and eliminating all the toxics.
Nike takes the waste equals food concept seriously and has set itself a goal: no more waste by 2020. A first step is their Reuse a Shoe program. On a modest scale, Nike has begun to take back used shoes. The rubber is cut from the shoes and reused.
The design for disassembly would be key, because once we take the shoes back, making the design easy to take apart and to get back to its componentry and raw materials is a big constraint.
The soles become a kind of rubber granulate that is used as a top layer for running tracks, tennis and basketball courts. But that is just a start. The ultimate aim is that all the waste from the shoes should become raw material again for new shoes. Fully recyclable shoes that do not pollute, that is the goal. Nike has recently introduced a product that is heading in the right direction.
We are proud of a shoe line we call Nike Considered, and Considered design is a philosophy of design that asks our design staff to look at the entire life cycle of a shoe and design with less toxics, using the power of geometry over chemistry, using more natural fibers and materials that are recyclable or farmed products. And Nike Considered is been in the marketplace for a bit, has done very well for us. The consumers seem to like it. I happen to be wearing a shoe right here, and I will just talk a little bit about what the shoe does and why we're so proud of it. As I mentioned, it is a considered product, so you can see on the inside of the shoe itself, it's just one piece of leather with no foaming, no backing. We've tried to reduce as many toxics as possible out of the product. It uses raw natural hemps and materials to create the upper itself. And one of the most powerful things about this considered opportunity is that we've reduced as much as possible all the adhesives. And so typically a glue adhesive puts the outsole onto the shoe itself. In this case, we've studied geometry and created a powerful geometry that snap fits the outsole to the upper itself. And this is stitched down with a thread, so we're eliminating as many adhesives as we possibly can. And so the inside itself, from a disassembly perspective, if I were to take this whole thing apart, this just snaps into two units, the inside unit and the outside unit. The threads are taken off, and this goes right back into a stream of materials that can be used for a post-secondary life.
This all sounds great, but can you make a normal, profitable product in this way?
I think we can, yes. I think that the waste is food principle is, again, it's a very provocative idea. I think it's not just an idea of design and creation, it's an idea of business, that there is a limit to raw materials, that we recognize that, and as we assemble new products, thinking about the business proposition of how you can use products and raw materials on products for a certain lifetime and then have those raw materials turn into something else is a profit engine.
McDonough and Braungart visualize a world in which literally all the waste is food for the biosphere or the technosphere. In that way, we'll no longer have to feel guilty about consumption and the resulting waste. After all, there'll be no more waste.
Yeah, we celebrate abundance. We can throw things away, we can litter, we can enjoy littering, we can use materials back into cycles. Right now we lose about 4,000 to 6,000 times more topsoil than we rebuild, yeah? Because our agriculture doesn't work, it doesn't rebuild soil. Yeah? Our ways, we take things and we don't put them back into biological cycles anymore. So what we say, no, let's be productive and be happy to have materials to go back. But everything is a nutrient. So the more materials we have, the more we waste, in brackets, yeah, the better it is for the others. Yeah, like we developed, for example, for Unilever, yeah, which is a Dutch company, an ice cream packaging, which is not just biodegradable. Biodegradable is just the minimum. Yeah, I am biodegradable, you are biodegradable. Yeah, but so what? Yeah, that's just the minimum, like sustainable. Yeah, but there it starts. This ice cream packaging this film is a liquid at room temperature. It's only a film when it's frozen. Yeah, then you take it out of the freezer. Yeah, rip it off and you throw it away. It becomes a liquid within hours and it degrades within hours. Yeah? But it's not only biodegradable, it contains seeds from rare plants. So when you throw it away, yeah, you generate life, yeah? Like the others as well. All the songbirds, etc., they take the seeds and all the berries and they generate life by that. Yeah? And all their excrements and materials as well generate life. Only we take things and don't give anything back.
Well, as an architect, you know, I come from the larger scale production. Michael, as a chemist, comes from very small scale production. So you put the two of us together, and our work can range from the molecule up to regional and city planning and everything in between. So, you know, I design factories where this kind of work gets done, and we try and solar power them and cover them with photosynthetic materials. And you know, we like to see a building like a tree, where it makes oxygen and sequesters carbon, fixes nitrogen, distills water, purifies the air, changes colors with the seasons, creates microclimates. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that too?
Close to Lake Michigan, you'll find the factories of Herman Miller. For decades, the company has been one of the world's best-known manufacturers of design furniture. Some of their designs have already been included in museum collections. Herman Miller is one of the top companies in Fortune magazine's list of the 100 best companies. In the early 90s, McDonough designed their assembly hall. People called the building the Greenhouse, and it was immediately a resounding success. It is a building in which daylight dominates and natural air circulation replaces air conditioning. From the very first day, the new building had a noticeable effect on workers.
In their old plant, it wasn't a great environment, and we actually had more than our fair share of general industrial relations problems in that plant. And you always wonder, you know, well, what's going on? Why was that plant particularly difficult? When we brought the folks into this building, into the greenhouse, they responded amazingly well to it. Put simply, the building respects the people who are inside it. They became positive, more productive, we have less absenteeism, and indeed we bring all our customers through this building and we actually take them out onto the production floor and let them meet the people working out there because they are just so positive. And it's a great example of when you build a building that really respects individuals, gives them light, gives them the space, gives them the air quality they need, they respond doubly in terms of their commitment to the organization.
McDonough's philosophy is not limited to the inside of the building. In his vision, a building must not conflict with nature, but form a part of it. The wastewater goes to pools on the site, where there is plenty of room for plants and animals. In the United States, it has become the standard for green buildings. McDonough also managed to persuade Herman Miller to take a closer look at their products. The company now makes chairs according to the Cradle to Cradle concept, the strict production protocol of McDonough and Braungart.
This chair is one good example. It's called the Mira, and the Mira is a chair that was really the first product that used the Cradle to Cradle protocol. It's a product that's easily disassembled. We actually evaluated all the various materials in this chair, and I think there's only a couple materials in here that still have the red designation, which means that there's still something wrong with them in a environmental sense, and some of that could be, let's say, a recycled steel part. It might have chrome in it yet, so that would make it red, and not much you can do about that. But things like this plastic bag, we actually had the supplier of this plastic take out the materials that were harmful to the environment, and even though it's still this flexible, we took out the things that were not so kind to the environment that also made it flexible. We just used the more natural ones.
The cradle-to-cradle protocol is characterized by strict requirements. Are the materials completely safe for man and animal? Can the materials be reused in the biosphere or the technosphere? Can the product be disassembled quickly and easily?
Interesting, yes. The chair comes completely apart. It takes about 15 minutes for one person, and there isn't a joint or a place where it's actually assembled that takes longer than 15 seconds. So each part can come apart, and there are a few pieces like this arm pad that is a mixture, and that mixture can also come apart very quickly and very easily for disassembly into its various component parts and peel the foam off. And so again, nothing more than 15 seconds for the chair to come apart. So it makes it easy then to capture those materials for their next life, as the name Cradle to Cradle implies.
When you think about it clearly, part of our criteria for a Cradle to Cradle product is that it can be disassembled quickly. Actually, disassembling something quickly saves us lots of money, right? It's much more effective and actually makes it easier to assemble it in the first place. So these criteria don't just become a burden to your business, they actually become an enabler of a better product and a more effective product for us.
The cradle-to-cradle protocol sounds like design for sustainability, but it is much more wide-ranging.
Yeah, sustainability is not enough for us. Yeah? Because if I would ask you, how is your relationship with your girlfriend, yeah, and you would say, sustainable, yeah, then I would say, oh, Rob, I'm so sorry for you. Yeah? If this is the key thing, sustainability, yeah, then it's just the minimum. Yeah, you can somehow deal with it. Yeah, it's just maintenance. Yeah, no, sustainability is the minimum, and from there it starts.
Our design assignment has two characteristics. One is an emotional one, and one is a technical one. Our emotional one is how do we design systems that love all the children of all species for all time. And that's a very emotional connection. It's about love and in celebration of the natural world and the accrual of more and more species, not the destruction of species.
And I think it's time that people can become native to this planet. Yeah? That they can say, hey, isn't it good that I'm here? Yeah? And we can make the other species on this planet happy that we are here. Yeah? And so this means we develop things which are not less bad, but which are good for the others, yeah? Which are supportive, which generate more life than just being less bad. Yeah? Less bad means that we are defining environmental protection like destroying it less. Yeah? Like to say, oh, I don't use my car today, so I'm protecting the environment. There's no protection with that. Yeah? It's an abuse of the term protection, yeah? Because to destroy a little less doesn't protect anything.